All right, peace and blessings, everybody. This is BroYosef. I'm back with another video. In this video here, I want to kind of make a continuation video from the video I did yesterday on the third eye and Harataki, and talking about the things that will develop once you start to take Harataki, right? And once you start to activate and work with your third eye. With that being said, in this video here today, I want to kind of start a series of, I may not do them every video, but I'm going to do, start sharing with you guys some of my spiritual experiences. Because people email me and tell me how much they really like my spiritual experiences. They like to hear the stories of my spiritual experiences. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start sharing some of my experiences I've had with angels, demons, gods, ancestors, just regular entities that I've met that told me incredible information. Some of the spiritual masters I talked to in the spiritual dimensions that has given me information and taught me about certain things that are not written in books down here, you know. And when I put these things to the test, sure enough, they work. You know, that's something you should always do when a spirit gives you information. You know, test it. You know, test to see if the information is accurate and if it's coming from an accurate source. So in this video here, I'm gonna get real for a second, and I'm gonna talk about an experience I had with one of my family members that was actually in a hell state. Okay, and you know, it is what it is. For all my family members that see this video, they kind of know who I'm talking about. But you know, and I'm going to explain that. And don't worry, the story has a beautiful ending at the end, a good ending. And I used to couldn't talk about this, the specific situation, because I love this family member so much, and I was so close to this family member. And because the family member had a handicap, it really made me not really want to share it with people. I shared it with a few family members that believed it, but this was a very real experience, and one of the first very lucid dreaming experiences I had that really, you know, shaped my mind and taught me a lot of lessons about the afterlife and what was going to happen in the afterlife on certain levels, right? And I learned a very big secret, which I'm going to reveal later in this video, about the gods, okay? And I'll never forget that, you know, I'll never forget that. So, and I also realized in this video that I was being watched, okay? I know it sounds a little crazy, but I realized then also that I was being watched by, I don't know who, whether it was a government entity or some other forces, you know, secret society, I don't know. Somebody was watching me, and you guys are going to understand in this video. Well, to start this video out, let me explain this first. When I was about 21 years old, I got a letter in the mail, okay? Now, for those who don't know me, I was born on 11/11 at, I actually have two pictures that say 2:11 in the morning and 2:37 in the morning, okay? So the oldest picture I have as a baby says 2:11, and then there's another picture I has as a 1-year-old, and on the back of it says born at 2:37 in the morning. I'm like, wow. So I count the younger one, the older picture, as my original birth date, which is 2:11. So I was born on 11/11/1980 at 2:11 in the morning. Okay. So with that being said, for those who know numerology and astrology, they know. And with that being said, I've always been a very scientific child. You know, I actually tell my mother when I was a kid I wanted to be a scientist. And it's funny because a magician or a person that deals with magic is a scientist. You're just a spiritual scientist. So I always knew that I was attracted to like dinosaurs and digging up information, fossils. And I was always attracted to that type of stuff. Always attracted to technology. You know, a very open-minded child from a young age. And always attracted to fantasy and the metaphysical stuff as a child and didn't know it. So at the age of, fast forward to the age of 21, one particular day, you know, I was just an average young man living on my own, had my own apartment, doing what I do, steady girlfriend, you know, which is my wife today. So I was just an average young 21-year-old, and I received a letter in the mail, okay? And at 21 years old, I was kind of in and out the church. I didn't really know what I wanted to do. So I received this letter in the mail, and the letter told me straight up, it said that every 7 years, we pick 7 people, okay? And you're one of the 7 people in the whole world that we want to allow to be part of our society, right? I never knew what this society was. So I kind of ignored the letter, thought it was crazy, ripped it up, shot in the garbage. About 3 months later, I received the same letter. Every 7 years, we pick 7 people, and you're one of the 7. This is our last time contacting you. If you don't respond to us this time, we'll never bother you again. But this time, the letter was a little bit more extended, and they started telling me that based on my birth date, and they knew who I really was, and they told me that, you know, I was going to be spiritual guy in the future, and a lot of people are going to flock to me. They told me all this incredible stuff that I was like, whoa. And a lot of what they said came true, you know, so far at least. You know, they told me I was a young man that had a lot of information. I was a reincarnation of this. And they started telling me all this crazy information at the time I didn't understand. And so, you know, my mother, who was my witness of this letter, I showed her because I didn't believe it, you know. But with this letter also came a little pamphlet, a little book. And they told me that if I didn't believe them, that if I just read the title of every chapter of this book, that they would basically, I would have the power to get money, right? So I kept the little pamphlet book, but I showed my mom the letter. My mom's like, oh, satanic devil worship stuff. You know, they want to put you in some satanic stuff. Rip it up and throw it away. Boom. Ripped it up, throw it away, did that, you know. So kept the pamphlet, and I read the title of every chapter in the pamphlet. Maybe 10 chapters in there, maybe 10, 11 chapters. So I just read the title of every chapter, ripped the book up, and shot it away. At 21 years old, for the first time in my life, I went and played the lottery. I played a little scratch off. I think it was like a lucky 7 or something. And I won $77 that day. $77. It was so weird, right? I believe it was a lucky 7. I won $77. I'll never forget. And I said, wow, that's amazing. How could these people know that? So I went on with my life and ignored it, you know? And, you know, went on with my life, and I noticed around the age of 25, 26, I started to wake up spiritually. It's another video I'm going to do when I met my spiritual father, and I'm going to do a video about that when I first woke up in the future. So I kind of had this thing for spirituality for a long time, and that's why I wanted to tell you guys the story. And there's other people out there that always knew I had this thing about me, and I didn't even know who these people were. So sure enough, when I started getting into spirituality, I started to develop really quick. You know, some people are just good at certain things. For me, when it comes to magic and spirituality, I could just pick it up. I just know deeper information just by reading a book, and I can't really explain it. So it was just a natural thing for me. When I started reading books, I was just picking up, getting it. So, you know, fast forward, studying spirituality, I always counted 2007 as when I woke up, even though I had my first real spiritual experience in 2006. I count 2007, January is when I woke up. So I've been spiritual for about 12 years now, into metaphysics for 12 years. And with that being said, fast forward, I went into, I'm around 27, 28. A close family member of mine passed away. Okay, now this family member had mental problems. And some people would say they're mentally handicapped, you know. Grew up with this cousin. He wasn't all the way gone. He was like a 40-something-year-old man trapped in like a 16-year-old boy body. Excuse me, I said that backwards. He was like a 16-year-old boy trapped in a 40-something-year-old man body. So he was a very sweet person, very good person. He just didn't know he was old as what he was. But, you know, he died of a heart attack, long story short. And I'm getting to the story now. So he died of a heart attack. And when he died of a heart attack, by this time, I think it was like 2009, 2010, when he passed away. And I had already left the church. So I was out of the church. I wasn't into Christianity anymore. And all of a sudden, when he passed away, I remember I couldn't make it to the funeral. He lived out of town. I couldn't make it to the funeral. And, you know, I was kind of hurt about that. So the night after his funeral, I went to sleep. And I had a very lucid dreaming experience. When I went to sleep, what happened was I noticed that my body was vibrating, and I just literally started raising up out of the bed. almost like you would see a balloon floating into the sky. I probably got halfway out of my body, and then I just disappeared from floating out of my body, and I appeared into this dimension. Now, I'm standing up in the house. I'm fully awake. I'm looking at my hands like, whoa, this is, I'm looking around like, this is really real. I'm touching the wall. Everything feels as real as I am standing in this room right now, So I'm touching the wall. I'm looking around. I said, where am I? All of a sudden, I hear like a crash, like somebody broke a door. Boom, kicked in the door. I said, whoa, what was that? So I'm looking around. And as I looked, I was in this kitchen, right? I'm in this kitchen / room. It looked really weird. So I looked towards the door of the kitchen, and it was like this really long hallway. And down the hallway, I could see somebody running. They're screaming like, oh, he's going to kill me. He's going to kill me. So I'm looking. I said, man, that voice sounds kind of familiar. And I noticed in the kitchen, it was really cold. So I actually thinking to myself right away, like, man, why don't they turn the heat on in here? So, but I'm looking down the hallway, and I see this person running. Oh, they're trying to kill me, So I'm looking way down this long hallway, and I'm thinking to myself, how could a building have a hallway this long? How could a building have a hallway this long? So I'm looking down the hallway, and all of a sudden, the person gets closer. I notice it's a cousin of mine, a family member. So I'm looking, and I call him by his name. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, what's happened? I said, how are you here right now? Didn't understand. Then I realized, oh, this, I'm in a spirit world. I'm in an astral plane. Because dreams are real. People just don't understand how real they are because they're not awake in their dreams. You're really having an experience. You're just doing it in a different body, right? But because we're taught that the physical world is real, we think that the stuff over there is fake, and it's not. It's just as real as this, and more real than this, to be honest with you. It's like they say, when you go to sleep at night, you wake up. And when you wake up at night, and when you go to sleep at night, you actually wake up into the real world. And when you wake up in the morning, you go to sleep. You're actually asleep right now in the physical world. So he's coming up to me. He's like, yeah, this person's trying to kill me. I'm like, what are you doing here? So I'm like, wow, you're supposed to be dead. So as I'm talking to him, I look behind him, and walking really fast is this entity. This entity has like, he looked like a human, okay? But he was really tall, maybe like 7'2", really tall. And he's walking towards us like really fast, like, and he kind of looked like Jason to a degree, right? He has like this metal mask on. It looks like Jason, but it's like the mask is melted. And you can literally see the mask was like burnt onto his face. It was like stuck to his face, like burnt onto his face. So I'm looking like, what kind of a person would do, you can see his eyes though. And he's carrying the biggest butcher knife I ever seen in my entire life. The biggest butcher knife. The butcher knife was like this wide, right? This long. And I'm wondering like, how is he carrying this with one hand? I was like, he's just a big guy. So he's walking towards us with this humongous butcher knife. So I told my cousin, I said, yo, let's go, man. We out. We running. Boom, boom, boom. We running. So as we running, for some reason, without even opening the doors in front of us are opening by themselves. And every door that opens, we run into a different type of room. It's like kitchens, bedrooms, bathrooms. We just running. So I'm like, man, I need to find a way out of here. I can't run forever. So I'm running, and the doors are opening. So when I'm looking back, my cousin behind me, we're both running. All of a sudden, the door slams behind me, and my cousin is stuck on the other side. So, but I could see through the door. It was like the door had a color, but it was transparent. So I could see through the door, and the door was red. I'll never forget, the door was red. And I'm banging on the door, boom, 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 trying to kick it, like, yo, what's up? Why won't this door open? And I remember kicking the door, and all of a sudden, like, I had all this energy that was like kicking the door like a bulldozer was kicking the door. Boom, I could have literally kicked the bulldozer over. That's how hard I was kicking the door. I just noticed my strength increased, and the door still would not knock down, no matter how hard I kicked it. So my cousin, he's like against the door like this, and this guy, or whatever it was, is walking up to him, and he stabs my cousin in the heart. Boom. Now, remember, my cousin died of a heart attack. He died of a heart attack. And he was like 40-something years old. So this entity stabbed my cousin. I see the whole thing with the big butcher knife, stabs him in the heart. Boom. I see my cousin die. I'm flipping out like, yo, man, what the fuck? I'm kicking the door, trying to knock shit over, and I can't get in. I can't get in the door. So I'm looking, and the entity looks at me, and he just turns around and walks away like he a robot or something. Just turns around and walks away. When he walks away, he just like disappears as he walks away. And I'm looking like, yo, what? So the door opens. I look over at my cousin, and as I went to go grab him, he disappeared. I'm like, yo, like, what is this? You know, this is crazy. It felt so real. All of a sudden, I hear another noise. Boom! I see my cousin running down the hallway again. All over again. Now my hand is on my head. I'm like, yo, what's up? Like, what's up with this? He's running down the hallway. You can see the terror in his face. No, he's trying to kill me. He's trying to kill me. So he's running towards me. This time, I'm like, come on, come on. I put my arm around him, and I put him in front of me. Right? I put him in front of me. I'm like, yo, run, 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 run. And I'm on his heels, man. Yo, we out. We out. We running. Boom, boom, boom. I'm looking behind, NT way back there. But he walking real fast. Like, he never ran. He just walked, like I said, on some Jason shit. I'm just keeping it real. You know? So, I'm running, we running. And all of a sudden, you know, I grabbed my cousin's shirt. Because I thought to myself, like, I don't want the door to close on us again. So, as I run, I grab his shirt. And all of a sudden, I couldn't grab him no more. And the door closed in front of me. Boom. So, this dude is walking up towards me now. And I, you know, I put my dukes up. Like, yo, it is what it is. You know, we're going to square up. We're going to do it. You know, we're going to do what we got to do, right? So, he disappears as he's walking towards me. He's on the other side of the door. Once again, boom, stabs my cousin in the heart. Boom, my cousin dies again. So, I'm flipping out. I got on my knees. I was crying. I'm like, yo, what is this? This shit is crazy. So, all of a sudden, boom, I woke up. Woke up, tears in my eyes. You know, I kind of woke up, didn't want to let my wife know I was crying. So, boom, boom. So, I'm hurt in the morning. I'm like, yo, what was that? That was a messed up dream. So, during this time in my spiritual path, I had an altar, Egyptian altar up. And it was a set that I bought. And it had Isis, Basset, Heru, and Anubis. So, that was like my little altar, starting altar. First altar ever was an Egyptian altar. So, you know, I couldn't pray to God no more because I'm not a Christian. So my wife, you know, I took her to work that morning, but I don't want her to know that I was messed up. Like, I had a horrible dream, like one of the worst dreams I ever had. And plus my cousin just died in this world. So, you know, I was like, man, that was messed up. That was crazy. So she leaves. She goes to work. I drop her off. I come back home. When I get home, like, I just needed to get it out. So I literally lit the candle. And now this is the part I want y'all to pay attention to. Because this is when I learned something real deep about the gods, right? I lit the candle. I took all the deities off the altar except the god Anubis. Because I read and I researched and I understood that Anubis was a god that helped people go where they need to go in the afterlife, right? And he helped souls in the afterlife. And the Anubis statue I had was like this big. It was only a few inches tall, right? An inch or two, 3 inches tall. So, little tiny statue of Anubis. I lit the candle. All I had was a white candle and a statue of Anubis. So, on the altar at the time. So, oh, and I used to wear a pentagram. And so I had the pentagram on the altar too. So I'm praying because I couldn't pray to Jesus. I'm not a Christian no more. And I'm not going back, right? This is what I'm thinking. Like, I'm not going back. Either this going to work or it ain't. So I got on my knees and I prayed, man, right? And I want y'all to understand something. Prayer is not worship. Don't get that in your mind. Prayer is simply a request. You're asking something. You know, worship is something totally different. Prayer is a request. So I was on my knees praying to the god Anubis and requesting something from him, okay? So as I'm praying, tears are coming down my eyes. When I tell y'all I was so sincere, right? I start asking the god Anubis to help my cousin, like on the other side. Because I understood what was going on. Like, he was trapped. And he was basically living his heart attack over and over and over. Because the entity will always stab him in the heart. So he was literally living his heart attack over and over and over. So, I'm on my knees. I'm so sincere with the god Anubis. I'm praying. I'm like, please help my cousin. You know, he's stuck over there. He need help. So all of a sudden, I probably prayed for like 20 minutes on my knees, snot coming out my nose, tears coming out. I'm just keeping it real with y'all. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling y'all a secret of how when you want something from the gods, if your heart is right, if you sincere about what you really want, I don't care if you're asking for money. The gods know when you bullshitting with them. I just gotta talk to y'all real. I gotta keep it real with y'all. The gods know they not fools, man. They know when you just put an altar up because you want something. When you really need something and you sincere about it, the gods will, this energy that the gods represent will activate. Okay, it will activate in you and it will activate in the omniverse, and things will happen in your life, right? Because the gods also live in you. So I was so sincere with this energy, with this God, praying, praying, praying. So I felt this peace after like 20 minutes come over me, like everything gonna be okay. Nobody told me, I didn't hear no voice, but I felt it, like, yo, everything gonna be okay. It's like, I said, okay, maybe I cried it all out. I got it all out. So that night, you know, went to sleep. Well, no, let me go back and say this. So I prayed, I cried, got it all out. Later that day, I went outside and I went to go pick up my wife from work. And when I went outside, there was literally a black helicopter flying over my house, right? And I'm telling y'all the truth, man. This helicopter was not making no sound. And it was just all the places, houses on that street, it was over my house, a black helicopter. No sound. It had two guys inside of it. One of them was looking at me with binoculars like this. I thought that was so odd. As soon as I looked up at them, they just flew away. No sound. It was a helicopter. I'm not lying to y'all, man. I thought that was crazy. Like, did these people know I was praying to the god Anubis? Like, what's up with that? Like, I didn't understand. So I ignored it. Went to sleep that night. And this is the good part. I went to sleep that night. You know, didn't want to go to sleep because of what I saw the night before. I went to sleep that night though. When I went to sleep, I woke up and I was in the church that I was raised in. So I'm looking around in the church I'm raised in. I'm looking around. As I'm looking around, I see this door open and my cousin, the one who had the mental handicap, walked through the door. And as he walked through the door, he had on all white, right? And he was holding like a little boy in his arms. So I'm like, yo, he's like, oh, he came to me very, like, in his right mind. It blew my mind. Like, he had no mental handicap anymore. He came to me, he's like, cousin. He's like, what's up, man? He's like, man, I just want to tell you, thank you, man. Thank you for helping me. So I can't believe how he's talking to me because he had like a funny way of speech because he was mentally handicapped. So I couldn't believe how he was talking to me. I mean, I started crying like a baby. I was like, yo, like, I'm hugging him. Like, yo, like, what? I couldn't even talk. I'm like, yo, what it is? Like, what's going on? Like, he's like, man, you prayed for me, cousin. I appreciate that. So I'm looking at him, like, with my hand on his shoulder, like, happy. And he's like, matter of fact, I want you to meet my son. I'm like, your son? I'm like, how is that your son? He said, yeah, this soul right here is going to be my son in the next life. He's going to be my son. I got a chance to meet him. I was like, what? He's like, yeah, this is my son right here. He's going to be my son. So I like grabbed his little hand and he talked to me. He's like, hey, what's up? How you doing? I was like, are you going to be born back in our family line? And he just smiled at me. My cousin literally smiled at me. He's like, I got to go, cousin. He's like, but I love you and thank you again. And I wanted to walk towards him, but I couldn't move. And I just was like, it's like something wanted me to experience. So he walked away holding his baby, you know, told me that this boy was going to be his future son. He got a chance to meet his future son in a future life. It blew my mind, right? But that can really happen. So he walked away through the door. He looked back at me one last time, walked through the door, and I saw a flash of light, and he disappeared. I woke up. Once again, woke up, tears in my eyes. I'm like, yo, what kind of experiences am I having? Like, this is, now at this time, I was only taking what you call trace mineral drops, right? I was taking trace mineral drops. So he walked away, walked through the door, flash of light, and I woke up. And I just went to the god Anubis and I thanked him. I was like, yo, thank you. And I learned something real deep about the gods and the energy of divinity. The divine energy. If you're sincere with it, if your heart activates it, your heart activates your magic. If you're sincere in your magic and you're sincere in your heart about what you want and what you need, I don't care if you're trying to connect with a dragon, if you're trying to connect with a fairy or a god or an angel, if you're sincere, these energies will know. They will know you mean business. And that's the people that they come help. But if you don't been hard-headed and did everything you weren't supposed to do, and now you only crying because you hurt, the God's not going to respond to you quick like that. Because they warned you. They always going to send somebody to warn you about something you shouldn't do. But when you know that you're doing the best you can and stuff not going right, and you're being sincere to the gods that, yo, it's not working out for me financially. It's not working out for me relationship-wise. It's not working out for me. When you have that sincerity, miracles happen. I'm telling y'all, man. So I learned something real powerful about the gods, and I have dealt with the gods like that ever since. Okay? I have dealt with the gods with sincerity, and I have dealt with magic with sincerity ever since. Okay? So I wanted to get on this video today, and I wanted to talk to you guys about being sincere, and I wanted to use that story to teach you guys about being sincere in your spirituality and in your growth and in your magic, because that experience taught me a lot about magic, and it taught me a lot about the afterlife. Okay? And I got even more incredible stories to share with you guys. It taught me a lot about the afterlife, and it taught me a lot about who I was and about being sincere with the spirit world. When your heart chakra is right, can't fool the gods. Like I said, if you was doing something for so long that you know you weren't supposed to be doing, and you decide to do it anyway, and now you only crying and being sincere because you hurt, when you know you weren't supposed to do it anyway, they might not respond to you the way you want to. But when you know you tried the best you can and nothing else working out, and you being sincere with the divine energy, divine meaning godly energy, when you're being sincere with these energies, miracles will happen. I'm telling y'all, miracles will happen. So I wanted to get on this video today to encourage people. Be sincere in your magic. Be sincere in your spirituality, right? If you want to meet your ancestors, be sincere. You want to meet a dragon, be sincere. You want to meet a god, you want to meet your spiritual parents or your divine parents or your higher self, which is all the same, be sincere. Be sincere. Don't come to the gods fake. Don't come to this energy fake, because they're going to know it. They got to know you can't fool them. But some people are so used to fooling people until they think they can fool the higher forces, and you can't do it. And then you wonder why stuff don't work. It's not working because you're being fake. Be sincere. Be sincere, and everything will work out for you. So I wanted to tell you guys that video today to encourage you guys and to give you guys some some courage and some uplift you guys for anybody that's having a hard time in their magic. I'm giving you guys a big secret. Be sincere, and everything in your life will become a miracle. Miracles will happen for you. All right? So this is BroYosef. If you guys would like to email me, you can email me at newlifetools@gmail.com. If you like a consultation, you can hit me up at newlifetools@gmail.com. Until next time, I got more videos to come, but I wanted to hit you guys with this video. More stories to come in the future. Peace, family.